Sorry. My top 5 suggestions for how to recruit for Urbana. The first thing is you need to know Urbana's value proposition. Why recruit for Urbana as opposed to all the other conferences you can recruit from? And here's what I'd say. It's not just a great worship conference. It's not just a great teaching conference. It's the preeminent time for a college student to hear what God has to say about the world and His plans for it and how you get involved. And I think what the other part of the value proposition is, rather than hearing American speakers tell you about America, these are speakers from around the world telling you what the world church has to say about the key missions issues of the world. Sure, you may not have heard of the speakers, but that's the point. You haven't heard from these speakers because you've only heard from American speakers. This is a chance to hear from the key leaders in Africa, Asia, Latin America, tell us as a North American church what we need to hear about the world as it engages in mission. So know the value proposition so that you can explain to students what they'll get from Urbana. It's too easy to talk about as a worship conference or a teaching conference. It's more. It's an invitation to participate in God's work in the world as the world tells us about it. Second, even though I'm known for doing large group announcements, I think large group announcements are actually the weakest way to recruit for Urbana. Talk to each student individually. Tell them how, if they came to Urbana, how you would expect they would grow, develop, and begin to participate more in God's mission around the world. Large group announcements open the door. The best recruitment occurs face-to-face. And it's not just begging them to come. It's helping them understand what they'll gain from going to Urbana. The third thing I'd say is start by recruiting your leaders, your social leaders, the people for whom if they decide to go, they're going to bring their friends. So start with the people who are the most influential, because once they decide to come, their friends are going to decide to come. The fourth thing I'd say is there's going to be scholarship money from Urbana. You're going to be raising scholarship money. Scholarship those key social leaders first so that you develop momentum. And then the fifth thing I'd say is start now. When I was recruiting for Urbana, I would start the January before Urbana so that people could begin to save money for it. They could develop their plans. Because you know, people make their Christmas plans with their family sometime in the spring or summer, and you want to be ahead of that curve. And so start in January talking about Urbana. Invite people to participate. Get those social leaders on board. Know what Urbana is about, and then invite them personally. Those would be my 5 tips on recruiting students for Urbana.